Stranger Things Season 4 Volume 2 Everything We Know. I can't quite believe what I just watched. Volume 1 provided so much excitement, terror, joy, despair, and most importantly, a ton of revelations. With that, I thought I'd take a look at all that's out there about Volume 2 and give my theories and predictions on what I believe will happen in the final 2 episodes of Season 4. So let's get into it. Here is Stranger Things Season 4 Volume 2 Everything We Know. Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers. The story. Volume 1 ended off at a pretty poignant moment in the show. Eleven had just rediscovered the memory that she'd buried so deep, and realized that it wasn't her who committed the Hawkins massacre, but it was in fact Number 1, who she beat in a battle and pushed into the Upside Down, thus creating Vecna. We had Nancy stuck in the Upside Down and becoming Vecna's latest victim, due to her feeling guilt-ridden about Barbara's death in Season 1. However, whilst in there, Vecna revealed his origin and true identity to her, and that he is in fact Henry Creel, Victor Creel's son, meaning that Henry Creel is Number 1 and Number 1 is Vecna. 2 revelations at once. We had Max fighting against time, which is the very construct that Vecna actually wants to destroy. She was fighting against time to be able to stop herself being claimed by him, and the rest of them discovering a gateway into the Upside Down, which is in fact set in 1983 on the day that Will disappeared. We've also got Mike, Will, Jonathan and Argyle locating Eleven with the aim of saving her, and finally Joyce and Hopper reuniting in the prison. So what does this all mean as we enter Volume 2? Well, with Eleven rediscovering her memory and her readings being off the charts, I think it's safe to say that she's definitely regained her powers. After reliving the memory of defeating Number 1, who was arguably the most powerful person on the planet at that time, she should now be able to adopt the powers and form the connection that Brenna was speaking about, which will then allow her to be able to form the connection to her brain and channel those powers. We know Mike and Will have the location to Project Nina, so I think that they will essentially find it. Eleven will break out, as I imagine there's going to be a cruel twist of fate where it turns out that Brenna wants to use Eleven as a weapon, rather than treat her like a human. So this will cause her to resist and then break free. Owens is on Eleven's side, but I feel Brenna may go against what was initially planned, causing Eleven to react. I think they will then go back to Hawkins once they realize that Hawkins is in danger, and then from here we'll see Eleven enter the Upside Down to face off against Vecna, formerly known as Number 1. And they will battle like we saw them do in Volume 1's finale. With regards to Nancy, she's currently stuck in that living nightmare state, and with there being no music available for her to listen to allow her to get back to reality, I think we'll see Eddie pick up his guitar and play some music in order for her to navigate her way out. We saw a clip of him playing his guitar in the trailer for the show, and we know that they are currently in his trailer, so I think that may be the only way to get Nancy out. With Nancy knowing the true identity of Vecna and that it's in fact Henry Creel, she'll be able to join the dots with Eleven and allow the whole group to be informed. Max's countdown, of course, is something that hasn't stopped, and I think we'll see it get leaned into more in the final 2 episodes. She's managing to keep it tamed by listening to the music, but as she mentioned, if she gets sick of the song, that could potentially be something that will cause Vecna to be able to re-enter her mind. We saw Hopper monologue about his daughter and how he felt guilty about her death. I think we'll see him, Joyce and Murray break out of the prison, go back to Hawkins, and then Vecna could potentially exploit that guilt that Hopper holds in the finale. Hopper does care a lot for Eleven, and I just have this feeling that Hopper may give his life whilst trying to save Eleven when she does eventually go into the Upside Down and face Vecna for the sake of saving Hawkins. It would be an extremely emotional moment for sure, but one that I think would provide a lot of weight to the show's finale. Nancy and Jonathan are a couple that I don't think are going to stay together. We've seen them both question their relationship and if they care about each other as much as they used to in Volume 1. But we've seen Steve and Nancy rekindle a spark over the course of the 7 episodes, so that romance could be something that does come to fruition. We've also got the town up in arms thinking that the Hellfire Club is a cult that's using rituals to disrupt the town. However, with all of them potentially going into the Upside Down, I think they may be able to steer clear of them for a little while. We don't yet know what Vecna's weakness is. We know that the more people he claims, the stronger he gets. He stalks his victims like a predator and then uses the very thing that he despises, time, against them, and then eventually claims them. The Creel house is something that's going to be extremely important. He sits in the attic where when he was younger he kept his Black Widow spiders, the creatures he holds at such a large value. We know that fire is what causes Demogorgons to flee, so maybe that's something that Vecna is also fearful of. But I think the only way that Vecna will be able to be destroyed is through Eleven and the newfound powers that she holds. Maybe she herself will need to enter Vecna's mind and use some form of guilt that he holds, if any, against him. I think it's going to be an explosive finale. We know that for certain. I can't wait to see the group re-enter the Upside Down and take on the most important battle of the Stranger Things universe. It's been alluded to that Vecna is the general of the Mind Flayer, and if the group does find a way of beating Vecna, then that will lead us to the final main villain itself. We've been told that the Mind Flayer is merely something that uses things as hosts. We've seen it with members in Hawkins, and also seen it take the form of monsters that have inhabited this world. We're yet to understand what role it plays with Vecna, but it seems as though he operates on his own with no control. Number 1 transformed into the Vecna form as he entered the Upside Down, something we've not seen happen to anybody before. I think it was his pure evil nature that allowed the natural transition to happen. Vecna is the Flayer's strongest individual, so if he does get beaten, I'm intrigued to see what that does to the Upside Down. The release date. The good thing is that we don't actually have to wait that long for the final volume of Season 4. Netflix have already pre-announced that it will be getting released on July the 1st, so we only have little over a month to wait until we see the group battle Vecna with the intention of taking him down. We also know the runtimes of the episodes too, and they're going to be 1 hour 25 minutes for episode 8, and a whopping 2 hours and 38 minutes for the final episode, episode 9. So I'm expecting big things when volume 2 does drop. The cast. In terms of main characters in the show, none of the main characters were killed off or left the show at the end of volume 1, so I think it's safe to say that all of them will definitely be returning for volume 2. Unfortunately for now, that's all that's known about season 4 volume 2 of Stranger Things. I'm sure more information will be released as time goes on. If you want to see much more Stranger Things content such as volume 1 explained, or theories about other characters in the show, then click on the I button in the top corner and you'll get a wide array of content. Or alternatively, head over to the channel. If you want to suggest other TV shows or movies that you'd like me to cover on the channel, then head over to my Twitter @BrainPilot_, where you can tweet me recommendations or simply check out what other shows I'm watching. What did you think of Volume 1? Leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.